Aloha, hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii, and with Real Brokerage. And I am here with our monthly island-wide mortgage and real estate update with my colleagues and partners, including my husband, Eric Ziemelis, also with Real Broker. And I got Lance Owens. And I've learned, I think it's this way when I point this way. There you go. Lance Owens with Hoover Real Estate and Jana Mahoney with KW Big Island and Annie Madrid with KW Big Island. And we've got we had a couple things happen. We lost Joe Egan today for a family emergency. So what I've asked him to do is he and I can do a Zoom update on the mortgage market. So you guys can check that out on YouTube later on. And also Delania, who was going to give us a neighborhood update. She also got called away. So she says she's going to double down on the stats for next month. But we have our cool folks here. Eric is going to actually be taking the place of Amber Haley. I know he's not as cute as she is, but he's going to give us the Hilo and the Puna district numbers. And then Lance is going to dive deep on single family homes in North Kona, and also hopefully kind of tip a little bit on the condo experience. And then Janet is going to bring us the Waikoloa and Waikoloa Village statistics. And Andy is going to talk to us all about South Hawaii. So with that, let us start at the top and run around the island. And Lance, why don't you go first and let's talk about Kailua Kona and our region.
All right, great. I'm going to jump right into some numbers that I think will be surprising to everybody. So right now we're looking at what I'm showing. So I did from 9/1 to today. So that gives us a good sampling of what's current. Okay. Up until about an hour ago, this is current. So it shows a median price of 1.247 million for housing. This is all residential I'm going to be talking about now. And it shows the days on market to sale. The median is 16 days on market to sale. The average is 46. I like to use the median. The median price of sale to original price is 99.9%. The average was 98.42%. Okay. So I know that just blows Julie away because
that's like, not what these stats say.
No, these are straight from the MLS 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so, well, these are from the MLS like last month. So
okay. So, I mean, it made me do a little deep dive because I did kind of expect it to be a little bit lower, honestly, And looking at what's interesting is of the homes that sold, almost half sold in cash, the other half sold in conventional. We had 2 VA loans, 2 1031 exchanges, 1 construction, and 1 PMM, private money mortgage, so owner financing, basically. So we had one house that really threw it on the market, kind of threw the numbers off. It was on the market for 541 days. Wow. It was listed at 8.7 million and it sold for 7.6 million cash.
Oh, okay. So that'll throw it off a little bit.
Yeah. So that threw numbers off a little bit. And I'm going, well, wait a minute, with the median price running at 99.9%, what's going on here? So I said, let's count up how many homes sold for over asking. Okay. So out of the 42 homes that sold, 15 of them sold for over their asking price. 8 of them sold at price. So that's a total of 23. So well over half sold at or above their list price. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The big one that sold, the house was listed at $599.9 and it sold for $8.25. Whoa. So it was that was the biggest one of the over, but several of them sold for 50 to 100 grand over. So some mind-boggling numbers that I kind of wasn't expecting. I don't think the sky is falling. I don't think it's bad. But this is really, these numbers, black and white, look really, really good. So
interesting. Wow. And as we keep talking about, because Lance and I do our West Hawaii update the first part of the month, is that we're seeing kind of like we were thinking that maybe it was going to start to kind of like soften, and it seems, and we're talking about how September usually is kind of like a lower part of the market, but those numbers mean that people are still looking for for homes, and there were a lot of homes on the market for like 1.5 and above, and then again today when we were looking at what's being on Broker Open in West Hawaii, most of the houses were over $1.3 million.
Yeah.
So these big ones go. So when you're saying they're going for $50,000 over asking, is this are these like beautiful mansions that are.
No, no, this was the things in the 800, 500 million dollar range. I was just like, wow, I was kind of surprised, you know?
Okay, okay. In the lower
Yeah,
priced homes, people are, that's definitely obviously that market is underrepresented for sure. So
yeah,
oh, cool. Okay, good stuff.
yeah. And to
And
just
then
give you a number condos really quick,
yeah,
because I didn't do a deep dive on those, but median price right now I show for condos is 636.5. I show an average of 849. I am showing days on market to sale, a median of 20 days on market to sale. 43 is the average. Sale to original price, the median's 99.9% also, and it's 96% is the average.
there we
So
go.
99.9 on both homes and condos for the median on sale to original price.
There you go. Okay, well,
Yeah.
look at that North Kona for the win. We'll see what the rest of the island looks like in terms of that's the sale price. Eric, do you want to take your shot at
Sure, I can do that. Okay, so these are, or I'll start with the Puna district, and this is for September. I didn't do September and October. And so there were 77 homes sold last month, and the previous month was 81, so a little bit less. And a year ago was 78, so we're almost tracking with year to date. And then we've got 64 days for days on market, and a bit longer than the previous month, which was 59 days. And the previous year was also 59 days on market. So that really hasn't shifted as well. I think the difference here compared to the west side is going to be the list to sales price. And we're at 93.99% for 94%. So a little bit not quite as good as that 99 one. The previous month was 94. So it was dropped 0.5%. And the previous year was 93.3. So it gives you an idea. It was almost, for the year, it was almost the same. And the median price was 380,000, and that's up from the previous month, which was 350, and the previous year, which was 350 as well. So gives you an idea for that. So that was the Puna district. And now I have to laugh. This one is the South Hilo district, which seems kind of funny because it also has part of North, what I would say North Hilo, but all the way around Hilo. And that again is September. 14 homes were sold. The previous month was 19. 60 days on the market, a bit shorter than the 65 in August, and a little longer than the 55 days for 1 year ago for the September. And their list price to sales price was 94.4. So kind of keeping consistent over there. Almost as the same as the previous month, a bit lower than the 97 list to sale price we saw last year. So it dropped from last year. And Hawaii Paradise Park Neighborhood Spotlight. There are 61 active single homes in that HPP right now, which seems like a lot. That's definitely a lot of homes for sale. So that's what I've got for the Puna and South Hilo.
Thank you. Okay. Let's bounce. Sorry, Jana. I'm going to bounce over to South Hawaii with those numbers real quick, and then we'll come back to you. Angie Madrid, what the hell is going on down there?
When I look at you guys' numbers, I mean, it's almost like there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, in September, so I'll back up. So normally I would look at like the Ka'u district where I'm at, and then going into the South Hawaii, which kind of includes like the volcano area, but they've lumped all of the volcano stuff into the Puna numbers.
Which are two different situations.
Yeah. So in September in Ka'u, which would be like the Ocean View area and Na'ale and all that, we only had 8 sales between 130,000 and 450. And the reason is because we have so many out here in the Wild Wild West. We just have a lot of unpermitted structures. So that really is pushing the price down, because when you compare the median price point of this year over last year, I kind of would expected it to be kind of higher because where we're at with the lack of inventory. But we had overall there were our median price point is 317,000 right now compared to last month, previous units. Last month, 394,500. And we had 16 units that were sold the previous month versus like September, and then a year ago, it seems kind of flat again. In the same time a year ago, only 13 sales.
Mm.
And the median price point a year ago was 276,000. So we're up, but not as much as we were in the previous month, which kind of a slow time for us here, on the
Yeah.
island in
Yeah.
general.
And since you're doing so much of the sales down there, what are you hearing? Is it people are just pulling out of the market because of the affordability, or what's the
Well,
story?
interest rates. I went and had a listing appointment today with a gentleman, and he's kind of a first time home seller, and he doesn't really understand what's going on in the market. But interest rates are killing people. That's what's really been the issue for. That's I think is why we've already said that's why causing the lack of inventory. If a seller today is like, hey, do I want to trade my 3%, 3.5% mortgage for a 7 plus, close to 8% mortgage now? So why? Let's just renovate the house and make it work.
Right.
So we have buyers that are getting stuck, but the buyers that are, right now it's kind of double-edged sword. Interest rates are really high, and the home prices are, our inventory is tight, so home prices are up, so they're getting hit twice. Our sales price to list price ratio, 94.91%. Last month, 92.74%. And we're almost where we were last year. Same time last year, 95.91%. I'm sorry, 95.65%.
Okay. So when you're selling homes down there too, are you telling your buyers to come in at a lower price point?
Not that often. It's like, yeah, you can, but the sellers don't really have to move that much. I've got one now where I told the buyer, yeah, we can look at the property. The agent's already told me the seller's not going to move much.
Nah. Yeah. Yeah.
The last, 3-4 homes that I put offers on, we came in either at or over asking price on every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in one in Kona right now. We were in at asking, and that deal kind of fell apart. We're back into the second property at asking. With really no seller concessions. They just came in and said, yeah, let's write a check for it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of like Eric and I are seeing our kind of business where they're like, I just want the house. So there's not tons of like 10 other people that you're competing against, but it's like, we just know there's not that much inventory. So it's keeping the prices steady.
No. So buyers are having to pay a premium for these properties, and properties that I would otherwise think, yeah, that's overpriced. Then all of a sudden it goes into escrow, and I see that it sells either for asking price or over asking price.
Yeah. Yeah.
That matches the number here, right? 23 out of 42 were at or above asking.
Yeah.
So.
And when I went to go to do the listing appointment today, when I give the CMA to the seller, it's like your comps. Okay, there's only 4 properties in the whole neighborhood for sale. It's not like you got to compete with really anybody. There was 1 property in escrow. Everything else had been sold.
Oh, there you go. So there's obviously demand. Okay. And we're going to go around and talk a little bit more about the market when we finish this. So let's go to Jana and see what's going on in the Kahala area. So what do you see in Jana?
Okay, pretty similar. We'll start with the piece of pie that incorporates Waikoloa Village and Monolani, and then I can do the piece of pie that addresses the Waikoloa Resort because it's 2 different TMKs. So Waikoloa Village residential, there were 6 that were sold, and days on market was 45 average. The highest one on that list had 156, so it kind of skewed everything. And that's the thing when you don't have very many, in your sample size. One that's skewed one way or the other can really kind of knock your numbers around, right? Listed sale price was at 95.8%. So kind of the same thing that everybody else is saying, although it's like Lance said, when you kind of dive into it, there was one that was a really big one, and it also skewed the average because it was the list price was 11,900,000 and it sold for 11,300,000. So when you put that in, that a whole bunch of your little ones that might have sold for more get kind of ignored.
How long did that $11 million house take to sell? I want one like that.
I know, right? Oh, let's see. Oh, hang on. I got to take the client friendly off. 12 days.
Wow.
Yes. Woohoo.
Okay.
You do want one like that. So right now there are 23 that are active. And again, they go from 835,000, and that's a pretty small house in Waikoloa Village, 3-bedroom, 2-bath it's a cute little lot. It's in a nice neighborhood. Up to a 21 million that's in Montalani. Average days on market right now today was 95, with one of them at 238 days on market. So they're staying on market a lot longer right now in Waikoloa Village and Montalani, I think. The price to sell price is at 95.8, so 96%. It's still holding pretty steady. I mean, there's not a lot of change in that as far as that goes. Is actually 98.6 the prior month, so we're holding pretty steady. Median price 850 compared to 899 the prior month. For condos in that same piece of pie, there are 9 active right now, which kind of is surprising. That's not very many condos for sale, considering how many condo complexes there are right now. From 439,000 to 4.5 million. And the average days on market right now is 133. That's getting thrown off because there's one right now that's 589. So there's 3.
Wait, one of those houses has been on the market for 589 days.
Yes.
That's called a tough seller.
Yeah, that's someone who wants their price and they're not going to take anything less than their price, right?
As we say, that's
what's
somebody
that one priced at?
What's the price on that? Yeah. Is it like some crazy amount?
I wrote this one down because I was like, what is going on here? When you start diving into the numbers, you can go down little rabbit holes. Hang on just a second. It's Makanakai. Hang on one second. I'll tell you.
Do you find our channel interesting and entertaining?
Did you know that we sponsor this channel by ourselves?
One of our biggest compliments we get from our fans is when they reach out to us asking about moving to Hawaii.
We want to help you when you first arrive here for your success. We want you to acclimate to the island and build friendships and be part of life here. So by joining us, we can get you into the ecosystem that you will be calling home by getting you some new friendships, putting you into touch with events and different opportunities to volunteer. We offer free education in our 365 Hawaii Real Estate Minute channel. And our team includes our lenders to help you strategize a financial plan to move here.
So please reach out to us here at 365 Hawaii if you want to have our team help you move to the island.
You can do that by going to 365hawaiiliving.com. You can text, email, or simply reach out to us, and we will help you make the leap to living in Hawaii.
Oh gosh, I'll look for it in just a second.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. So we've got 2 in Alimalani. Those are in Waikoloa Village. 1 Makanakai. Waikoloa Village. We've got 2 in the villages. 1 at Camilo and 1 Kalani. Sorry. Sold last month. 349.9, which was a pretty small studio, to 2,725,000. Average days on market was 51. So again, it's going up because this in September of 2022, days on market was 28.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's kind of a big change. The sales compared to the original price is at 96%. In 2022, it was at 98%. Let's see. Okay, now let's switch over to the 369 in Puako. Basically, is the only residential area you see in the 369 pie. There's 5 that are active right now. 2,195,000 to 11,900,000, and those average days on market is 68. That's a really cute little beach drive that's got some nice homes on it, and even the houses that are not as new and not as nice those are very, very pricey lots even. So the condos in 369, that would be the Waikoloa Resort area. There are 8 active ones now. Again, that's not very many. 925,000 is the least expensive, and 4,190,000 is the most expensive. Average days on market 122. There's 1 Shores, 5 in Kolea. So definitely the most in Kolea right now. 1 Colony Villas, 1 Waikoloa Beach Villas. Last month, sold, there were 7. And they were from $899 to $1,289,000, 34 days on market, 98% original sale price. In 2022, so the same exact month last year, days on market was 28. So that's not a huge change. And 875 to $1,890,000. So not a lot of change as far as that goes either.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's going on.
Would you agree that most of the people who own in that the Waikoloa Village resort area are investors?
Oh, yes. A lot of those condos are in a short-term vacation rental program. And even the ones that are not in a short-term vacation rental, sometimes those owners use those as sort of when they're snowbirds. And so they might not have them on the market, but they still are not, occupied all the time.
Yeah. So like to Andy's point, when you got in on the good rates, why the heck would you sell your investment if you are sitting at 2, 3, and 4, and 5%? So,
Exactly. And I looked up at Mauna Kea just to see kind of what was going on there. Not a lot of places for sale up in Mauna Kea right now. Waiulaula has 1. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath for $2,650,000. There's a couple more at some of the other places. Kumulani has nothing. I looked at Hawaii just for fun. 7 residential properties up there, $599,000 to $2,299,000. Average days on market's 85. Hawaii is super cute. We should probably do a 365.
I know. I actually had somebody who I want to live up in Hawaii, and I'm like, "Oh, have you been there?" She likes the fact that it's away from everything. She wants to like just drop in, drop out experience. I'm like, "Oh, Hawaii's your place."
Yeah, and it's so beautiful. And Kappa out up there, $349,000 to $4,495. But the one that's $4,495,000 has 141 acres.
Whoa.
And,
okay. Yeah.
So
just because we're chatting, can you buy a single family house in Kapa'au or in Hawaii for less than 500,000?
No, but you can get one for $599.
Okay, $599. So people might be watching and think, okay, is there any affordable housing up in the north part of the island? We know where there's going on in the south part of the island, or east side, with their $350 for their median price. And then
there's no condos up there. So
there's no condos. Yeah. So Lance, in general, what's the least expensive thing you've seen in the last 6 months?
I haven't. Probably Kamani trees at 7. I think it just dropped down to high 6s, didn't it? But it was at like 7.25, I think.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, so there you guys go. There's a 1,200 square.
And then just give a little background. I mean, cookie cutter home. I lived there for 18 years. I think I loved it. It's streetlights, sidewalks, trash pickup, things you don't get in a lot of neighborhoods on the Big Island. And they're probably 5,000 square foot lots with average 1,000 square foot home.
Yeah, that's a cute neighborhood, definitely. In fact, one of the people on the call just got into Makai. Eric, what's the name of that?
Lokahi Makai.
That also has sidewalks, and it's like relatively flat, and it has the street lights and all the stuff. And those are the kinds of neighborhoods that are going to go insane for trick or treating for Halloween. So
wait, one question, Lance. Did you when you were there in Kamai Trees, did they have trick or treating there?
So it used to go off the chart. We were blown away. The first year we went back to Long's Drugs 3 times during the evening. And then when Pualani Estates opened up, they started going up there. But literally, we would hear, if you buy in Kamani Trees, I mean, because we lived at the top of the hill, the entrance, and you'd hear parents say, "We'll be back in an hour, kids." And they would just turn, because it was a dead end neighborhood, there's only one street in and out, and they would just come back and pick them up at the top. So it's actually a good place for, I feel that neighborhood's better for little kids, and then kids in, junior high school and that age group is more Pualani Estates.
Yeah. And when our kids were small, we were doing the Pualani Estates, but also the Pines was on fire back then. And then they had the older folk sitting in their garages with all their food out in front for the kids to pick them up right in front of them, and they were all drinking together on the driveway. Oh, that sounds like a fun place to live. Yeah, do they trick or treat down in Ocean View and stuff like that?
Oh God, no.
No.
You guys have that trunk or treat, right? At the
They
at one of the
do
parks.
actually at the community center. They'll do something for the keiki out there. But yeah, it's kind of it's a little bit of a bummer. Like I got some pumpkins to carve, and I put them on the lanai. But I'm so far off the road, you can see them, but pretty much it's gonna be this like glowing orange orb. You're not gonna know what it is, other than knowing it's a pumpkin, but you won't be able to see anything.
But
Okay, so
Sorry.
last year I carved a pineapple and put it on my front porch with a candle inside and about 5 bags of candy because I thought, okay, this is COVID's over. I'm going to get deluged. We had 5 kids that showed up all night.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a bag of candy.
Yeah, and I even had a pineapple carved like a jackal.
Nice. We lived in Kona Paradise and we were expecting a bunch of kids. I don't know why. We moved from Oahu to the Big Island, and it was a mistake. One kid, he wouldn't come up our driveway, and I'm yelling at him, "Hey, get over here! They got candy."
Take my candy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so for people who are watching from the mainland and what's going on here too, is that kids who trick or treat in Hawaii have to work for it because they have to go up and down the hills. So, yeah, in fact,
Especially in Waikoloa.
Yeah, well, like at least Waikoloa Village is kind of flatter, and so is Lakahi Makai. But at Pualani Estates, if you're going to trick or treat there, bring your water. Don't wear heavy costumes because you're going to get your workout. You're going to sweat. Too funny. So I know that poor Joe can't be with us today, but in terms of interest rates, let's have a little chatty chat and what we are seeing, how that is affecting the market. Andy started with that kind of concept. Do you guys have people who are actually telling you that they're pulling out as buyers until they see something different in the interest rates, or people just saying, well, the interest rates are what they are, moving to Hawaii? I mean, what are you guys seeing out there? Lance,
Yeah, for me, I have a lot of people that just wait until the end of the year. Wait until the first part of the year. I've got a lot of, when I look at my pipeline of buyers, they're all pushing out, because right now they don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I've had some of these people been sitting in the queue for a couple of years because they're like, oh yeah, we're going to retire. And, it's like one couple, they're like, they reached out and said, oh yeah, by the way, we're retiring in December and moving there. But they're what they had planned to do is completely changing now because of interest rates and home prices and inventory. So we'll see. But a lot of my people are going to wait till after the first of the year. They're going to wait. I don't know what they're going to wait. Probably wait till after the election.
Yeah, that's what people are talking about, the election. They say sometimes that interest rates will go down in election years. That's Lance, you've been around.
I mean, it's a touchy subject for some people, but I mean, when's enough enough? I mean, look at what when I say we living here, not just in Hawaii, but us Americans living here, what we're paying for, everything is horribly expensive. Mm-hmm. And we're like, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, we know that they took the interest rates up to can inflation, and now the industry is saying they're basically pushing us into recession and really putting a stopgap on the whole housing industry across the nation at this point. So yeah, and Deanna, have you heard people talk about if they're putting plans on hold or moving forward?
I have heard people say that, oh, we want to wait until the interest rate goes down. But I think the flip side of that is as soon as it does, everybody else is going to pile back into the market too. And I'm sure if Joe was here, he would say, you can get a loan and lock it in so that if the rate drops in the next 2 years, they'll do a refinance for free. Mm-hmm. Without another fee. So I think that's a good way to counter that. To lock it in, get someplace before the interest rates go down and then refinance, because once the interest rates go down, I think we're going to get deluged with people looking again. Again, sellers don't want to sell because what are they going to buy because of this interest rate? They're going to go from 3 to 7.5 now.
Right. Well, we have
if you go to bankrate.com today, the rates for a 30-year fixed are 8%.
They are.
Oh,
okay.
Stop right, blue.
Yeah.
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 So
The
yeah,
highest
when
in
the rates,
22 years.
yeah, if the rates go down, I mean, yeah, everyone says, oh yeah, these are normal. Sure. My interest rate was like 8.75%. But yeah, I bought a $163,000 condo. Tell that to somebody that's going to carry a mortgage of, $1.5 million. It's a, so I don't, people say, what is it? You know, buy the house and date the rate or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. Well, the dating of the rate also. Yeah, Joe. In fact,
I'm
Joe.
worried if that's how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. So, Joe, last time we met, in fact, Andy missed this one. He basically said the 7% were going to be here for a while. We're not going to get down to the fives that we were all hoping for, like back in January when we were saying, 5% is coming. He said we're going to probably be. This is our life. We're going to be in the sevens. And he said that basically historically 30, the last how many years, it's been about 7%. So he said basically, don't hang around too
now
long.
here we are at 8. And yes, people are making more money, to a point.
Yeah, but everything
Look
else
what
is
you're
going
spending
up.
it on,
Yeah,
everything is
yeah,
more
yeah.
expensive.
So I'll tell you who this is working for, actually. So we have two people selling condos here, and they're investment condos, and they see that they are at a pretty high rate. People are, like we were talking, what Lance was saying, is that people still want condos and they're still willing to pay 99% for them. And so what they're doing is they're taking that money and they're basically paying off their entire single family home on the mainland. That way they'll be debt free. So that's what their investment strategy was when they retired. That's what they would do, and that's exactly what they're doing. And so, if you are hanging on to a condo that has seen amazing sets of equity in the last 2.5 years, even, it's a good time if you want to sell. I mean, you're looking at a bunch of realtors; they'll help you sell your house. So, it's a good time to say, you know what, the market is still strong. People are paying top dollar. And if you were wavering in terms of getting money out of the housing market here in Hawaii and putting it someplace else, it's not a bad day to do it, right?
Actually, we're doing the opposite because I've got a house for sale in Southern California. We're going to take that and we're going to buy a STVR here in Kona.
Yeah. Okay, so sell the house in Southern California because I'm sure they're still doing pretty good in their housing market because they have a tight supply too, right?
I was stunned what how home prices are in a neighborhood that she's passed away. My stepfather did, and then in a neighborhood that I would never ever live in ever. And I was shocked on the prices of homes. Starting price point $1.1 million.
Wow.
And what I thought was a neighborhood that was a complete, crap hole. Because there's plenty of those in California. But yeah, so we're going to take the house there and we're going to buy a condo here because I can pay for cash. And condos that are short-term rentals here in Kona, they're cash cows. I tell that to people all the time because they are. Because I've sold clients not one, not two, 3 condos because they make so much money on them.
There we go. Well, I got one coming up on the market on Monday.
Yeah.
That's why there's only 9 that are for sale up in the Waikoloa Resort. 9. And all those are short-term vacation rentals. And like you said, Andy, those people are just super happy with their return on their investment up there. So they're not going to let go of that either.
Yeah, yeah. And the tourist market. In fact, we had more tourists come in because of the Maui wildfire that they're not building any more condos for investment property right now. And we still have a strong tourism demand. So therefore those STVRs are still making some money. So
yeah.
And Eric, do you have any thought processes on the old market there?
No, I don't. You guys have covered it so well. There are times you just go, I don't have a thought. You guys keep going. You're all good.
So with that, thank you all for being here today. And thank you to Robert, Kimberly, and Jim for joining us live. And if you'd like to join us live, join the Ohana at 365hawaiiliving.com. And we will make sure that you get into our groups and our emails and all the good stuff so you guys can learn more about buying a house on the island. And again, we also help people sell houses, all of us. So
we're all realtors.
We're all realtors. So okay, you guys, we'll see you guys next month.